Hello everyone, it's Channin here for Waffle Flower Crafts. In this video, we are going to create this Christmas card featuring the Sneak Peek Kit number 8 from Waffle Flower Crafts. In this video, we're going to use the Christmas tree shaker die in kind of an unusual way and actually make this fun Christmas tree cookie. First, let's take a look at what's included in Sneak Peek Kit number 8. First off is the Slimline Shaker Cover Christmas Tree Set. There's actually 3 shaker covers in that pack. Next is the Subsentiments Christmas Tree Die Cut Sheet. Then the Christmas Tree Shaker Die. And lastly is the Folk Art Reindeer Die. So a lot included in this kit. I'm going to start and mainly use this Christmas Tree Shaker Die. And I'm going to die cut the base here out of some cream cardstock. I die cut 2 layers. We're going to do a lot of layering our cardstock here to kind of create some dimension and really make that realistic cookie look. First thing I'm going to do is just add some liquid adhesive to one of those layers and then then adhere my second die cut on top. Now that I have my base for my cookie adhered together, or my stack created, I'm now going to ink blend along the edges with Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. Just a little bit on the edges to kind of create that browned look of a cookie. I'm just going around here first, just kind of going in maybe about a little bit like a 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch in with my blending tool, just to kind of create that little gradation along the sides. And then I'll pick up my die cut here and actually ink blend on the very side of the stacked cardstock to create it can kind of make it even browner there, and that will really finish that look, really create that realistic cookie look. So now that we've made our cookie, it's time to move on to the frosting. I'm going to grab the smaller Christmas tree and die cut it twice out of white cardstock. Now that I've die cut my 2 layers, I'm going to go ahead and adhere them together. Again, I'm going to grab some liquid adhesive here, just add it to one of those die cuts, and then I will top it off with my second one. Now that I've got my 2 die cuts stacked together, I'm going to do some ink blending, starting with Cracked Pistachio, and I'm going to ink blend the upper third of this Christmas tree with this light green. Once I finish with that, we'll move on to Lucky Clover and ink blend the middle. I'm using Distress ink here, but Distress Oxides would work just as well. I just kind of like the intensity of the Distress ink. Once I finish with Lucky Clover, I'll then move on to Pine Needles for that bottom third. I did ink blend the Lucky Clover all the way to the bottom of the tree because that just kind of tints the pine needles a little bit and just makes it more cohesive. Now I'm going to grab the die cut, pick it up, and ink blend along the edges with light colors on the sides, just to kind of, again, create that seamless look of the frosting, so when you look at the sides it's colored as well. So now that I've got my tree all blended, I'm going to grab some embossing and watermark ink. I'm using Versamark here, and just press it all over the top of the tree. Then I will pick it up, and then I have some clear embossing powder, and I'm going to dip this into the embossing powder. I'm going to coat almost the whole thing. We're just going to leave a little corner of it so I can grab it, and then I'll heat set that embossing powder, of course, with my heat tool. Once I finish with that, we'll grab the embossing powder, dip that last little corner, and heat set that as well. This is going to create that glossy look that frosting has. We're now going to move on to the Christmas lights. There are 3 dies for all the Christmas lights on the tree. I went ahead and die cut each of those dies twice out of white cardstock. And just like what we did for the base of the cookie and the frosting, we're going to layer up these die cuts to create some dimension. And this is going to really make them look like somebody really worked hard and piped these amazing little Christmas lights on our tree. So now that I've got them stacked up, we're going to add some color to the lights with this die here. I have a bunch of scraps of cardstock here. I actually have 6 different colors. I went ahead and die cut my little lights out of them. I have them up at the top here, and now we're just going to grab some liquid adhesive, add a little dab to each one of the lights on the strand, and then grab our color and kind of pop them on there. I am using like a jewel pick to pick up the colored cardstock light and just stick it down. Once I get them kind of stuck down, then I will pick up the whole strand of lights, and then with my fingers just kind of adjust those lights and make sure that they're completely covering that white base. And I am doing them sort of in rainbow order here. making sure to kind of disperse the, or not use too much of one color or anything. I do use the most of the red, but I feel like that is appropriate because it just feels more Christmassy with red. And here's my last strand here, and they look so cute. I love the white. I think the white really makes them look like they are frosting. So now we're going to move on to the star. I have this die here from the Christmas tree shaker die set, and I have the scrap of mirrored gold cardstock. Just went ahead and die cut it out of that. I'm thinking this will kind of look like a big sprinkle. And then for our background, I have Waffle Flower's Half Dots Christmas pad. I just grabbed a really cute kind of green polka dot panel from that. And now we're ready to kind of assemble our card. I'm going to start by adhering my polka dotted panel onto an A2 top folding white card base. Then I decided to add a little dimension to that star, so I die cut a second star out of white cardstock, and now I'm just going to adhere that gold one right on top, just again keeping it consistent, making it look a little bit more dimensional. Then I'll adhere our green frosting to our Christmas tree cookie, and already it's like really starting to come together. It looks so cute, especially those brown edges really help to make that a realistic look. Then I'm going to move on to the lights. I'm going to start with the big strand here, and then this is when I started to realize I need actually my sentiment picked out. So I grabbed it real quick, and then that will help me kind of to arrange the other two strands of light, because I do want that sentiment to be on the tree itself. I just like the way that that fills the space or works within the space. So once I got my placement right, I went ahead and finished the lights by adding some liquid adhesive to the back of them. Now, because you're adhering them onto some heat embossed area, it does take a little bit longer for the liquid glue to dry, so you just kind of have to be patient here with that. However, one advantage is you have a little bit more wiggle room time to really get those lights into the perfect spot. And once I have them arranged the way I like them, I'll then move on to the star. Went ahead and put these on my card base just so I can get kind of the placement here of the star just right. Added a bit of liquid glue to the backside of the star and stuck that down at the top of the tree. And then we're going to move on to actually sticking the tree down onto our card front. Now, here in the video, I do add liquid glue to the backside and just stick it down to the card front. But actually, after the video, I decided I wanted more dimension, so I peeled it off of the card and added foam adhesive to the backside. So in the finished photos, it's actually popped up with foam adhesive. And then lastly, for the sentiment, I did use some Waffle Flower Crafts black foam adhesive strips behind the sentiment to stick it down onto that tree, and that will actually complete my card. I'll hold it up to the camera so you can get a good look at this super sweet Christmas tree cookie. I really love the way it turned out. I think it has such a realistic look, and it's so fun and cheery and such a great way to use this Christmas tree die in a different way. And I think you could even translate this into a shaker card as well, and maybe instead of the lights, you could have actual polymer clay sprinkles inside your shaker, and that would be a fun take on this Christmas tree sugar cookie idea, but in a shaker card version. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.